Leo.
Hello Leo, this is your astrological forecast for August 2015. Happy birthday Leo. This is your birth month, and so you shall see, not only is it going to be a great birthday, but wow, you got a lot of things going on here this birthday, this month. Why? Because you have this whole party going on here in your first house, which represents you, your personality. Not only do you have the sun visiting this area, you have Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and the new moon. So you can see you are now breaking through. It is all about personality. It's all about you. I'd like to say the new you in some respects, because all of these planets here now in July, they were visiting your 12th house. So July for you was more a month, and you might want to go back and re-listen to July when you hear this, just to see how those things fall into place. But July was more introspective, the need to kind of pull back and think deeply about certain things in your life, like a spiritual quest going on. But now here you're breaking the surface and you're coming up and out. The sun here, it is your playful self, and it is going to be allowing itself to be expressed. You're coming out with a lot of radiance. Venus being in your first house, and for an extended period of time, because it's retrograding. So instead of just zooming by, a couple of weeks, you're going to have it here for a long time. And women radiate, men too. By all means, I do have a lot of male viewers as well. It just brings that sense of love and joy and beauty to the forefront. It radiates out of your eyes. And so we love the transit of Venus in that first house. We have it there with Jupiter. Now July 1st, there was a conjunction. Some of you that are born somewhat early in the sign would already have felt what that indicated for you. Since Venus is retrograde, you're going to have the second round of it here on August 4th. Pay attention to see what it's going to do. If you weren't able to reap it there July 1st, you might have had some indicator, some insight, but maybe it hadn't manifested materially yet to you. Pay attention to what takes place on the 4th, just to see how that's going to work for you. And then, of course, we're going to have the third round later on, when Venus then turns direct, and it's going to cross Jupiter for the last and final time. But having this in the first house, Venus also rules not just love and romance, which it does. Some of you might start a new relationship this month. Those of you in a relationship, you might just feel that things are very optimistic between you and your partner. Just very jovial, easygoing, very friendly. That's what Jupiter is. Jupiter is always very friendly. And so you might just feel that that is excellent. Some of you are working through issues of the past or past relationships that will come up, and see how those things are going to sort itself out. Why? Because Venus is retrograde. It's working on the past. There's healing to be done and achieved, and all things are good. Now, having Mercury here in Leo to your sign, that means you're being very true to yourself this month. You will blurt it out. You will be very direct, very open. I feel this is good. You always do come from the heart in what you believe. You are the ruler of the heart, and Mercury is going to communicate that this month. Now, the new moon here in your sign happens once a year. It being in the first house, which has to do with you, the I am, inner self, the spiritual connectedness between spirit, body, and mind. Well, when you're feeling so great like you are here this month, just because everything is so aligned, well, your intention should be to self, saying, I want more of this. This is how I want to carry out my original self, my inner genuine self, and carry that throughout the year. Okay, so because sometimes, we waver off, and then we become, and then we act what other people's expectations are. Oh, they're expecting me to act this way or not. Here, it's from the raw, genuine energy from inner self. When you're true to that at all times, You are set free. You're not just doing what you think people may be expecting of you. You are acting from the core of self and out. That will harmonize you, Leo. And being one's authentic self is actually being set free from the ball and chain. There is no more entrapments or whatnot, getting lost in other people's demands. So I'm feeling that this month is very, very special for you. So happy birthday. Congratulations with the insights that are coming to you. All of these planets have just passed through now, your subconscious and your higher self. And so, of course, I feel that you're channeling a lot coming through from the higher dimensions. So pay attention to what you're talking about. So, yeah. That new moon is August 14th. It's 21 degrees in Leo, so depending on where you have your sun, some of you will have it smack on your sun. If not, I can say that that new moon is very close to Venus. They're at 24 degrees, so it will have, no, I'm sorry, Jupiter at 24 degrees. So this new moon will be colored and infused with that Jupiterian energy of hope, trust, the ideals, and you being just very happy-go-lucky and very enthusiastic. What a great day, August 14th. Very fortunate for those of you who have your birthday on the 14th, by the way. Now, Venus is retrograde all month, so yes, you will still see that you're working on issues from the past, not just relationships, but also perhaps what has to do with money or money-related matters will come up as you are wrapping up all the loose ends. We have Saturn, which currently is in your 4th house for home, property, real estate, family. And when we say family, specifically mother-father energy, for those of you who still have them around, or if they have passed, you're even working on it, integrating the influences from childhood, because 4th house is also the past, our past, way back to our teenage years, our childhood years, the influence or the programming that Saturn gave you as a child is now being worked over. And you've been working on this the last 4 to 5 months while Saturn has been retrograding. So how well that is working for you, it's all up to you. But be prepared to let it go now, because on the 2nd of August, Saturn is going to be moving direct again. It still has a few degrees left to go before it's going to leave this area. Won't come back for 28 years. So for those of you contemplating the Saturnian inner influencing from the past, this is the time to wrap it up and then be ready for a new 28-year cycle. What is really nice when it moves out of the 4th house, currently it is 28 degrees. So that's where it's going to start out, when it starts moving forward. Got 2 degrees, and it moves really slowly after a retrograde. It's more like the body seems to be sitting still for a long time before it takes up the quantum speed. But then once into Sagittarius, where will it be working? It will be working on your creativity for the next 2.5 to 3 years. All those just say talents, skills, abilities that have been laying there, may be dormant for a few. Some of you have already been practicing for a long time, but for those of you where it's been laying dormant, watch Saturn come to give you the push out of the nest and allowing you this time, this space to master those talents, skills, and abilities, okay, in a very creative way. You're going to love, love, love what you're doing. Why? Because it's in the sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is all about enthusiasm, you know, and bringing it out, being joyful, allowing you the time to do so. For those of you who have your own business, this is where Saturn too will be picking up a whole lot more grounding and manifesting it for you. Then the 5th house also has to do with children. More on that later, because Saturn's not there yet. That's coming up. But it's moving towards that area. The focus for you right now is to process and then shut the door to the past. Let it go. Because when we do, we allow opening up new rooms in our consciousness to fill it with the new things coming in as Saturn is progressing. We have Mercury. Mercury's communication it being in your first house, in your sign. So you're really communicating very, not just idealistically, but with a lot of pride. Pride is who you are. And so this is going to be moving into your second house for money and income from August 7th. And then you're going to start crunching a few numbers here, looking at your financial situation, where you're at, how you can perhaps come to grow this area a little bit better. Mercury will be thinking and crunching those numbers after the 7th. And then we have Mars, which currently still is in your 12th house. It's still working on the past, on your karmic issues, on your spiritual self. It's also needing to rest up. You might feel a little tired because, yes, you're closing down on a 2-year run. These last 2 years, Mars have been on full force all the time. Right now, you can start seeing the light in the tunnel, but before you get into that new light, it's more like, if you feel like you need to nap, Leo. Mars needs to kind of recharge that battery. Now, after August 8th, it's moving out of this area. So you have that first week to kind of finalize it. But then, watch your energy. Kick into action. No more tiredness. Mars is ready and fit to fight for a new 2-year cycle. It will be energizing your personality, the sense of self, as it comes in over the horizon into your first house, and then meeting up with the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and then, of course, Venus. So, and the new moon too, but that new moon is going to come and go really quick. Jupiter, August 11th, is then finalizing its journey where it's been since late last summer. It's been giving you hope, dreams, expansion, the feeling of how it feels to have wind under your wings, all right? So you've been doing that. Maybe you've been traveling a whole lot more since last summer. Jupiter loves to get out and about, especially long distance journeys. Now that is going to be moving out of your first house into your money house. So where you've had the blessing of Jupiter this full last year, now it's going to bless you after the 11th in your personal income house. For a full year to late summer of 2016, Jupiter will be your blessing, your guide, your inspiration, your intuition, as far as how you can now start making money, maybe in a new way, because by then, that Saturn is already in your 5th house. We were talking about your talents, right? Some of you might just come to see how Jupiter right now is going to challenge that Saturn. At first, it might feel like a push-pull kind of thing, but then it's all about integrating the two of them. And then I see the pulse, this light going off, and the inspiration, the flame of your heart being expressed, that it's now or never. This is the message that many of you will be hearing the whisper into your ear. It's now or never, because now is the time that you can start doing something and making money off your skills. If you don't catch the train by next summer, well, it's going to be another 12 years before you get this opportunity. Not saying you won't feel it when Jupiter will pass through your 5th house. That's several years, many years from now. You will have an opportunity then. But then that's just going to expand your skills. It may not bring the money side of it as it has the potential to do now, Leo. So, okay, catch that train. It's like, okay, we have a relatively quiet month. That does not mean August is going to be quiet. What it means is we don't have a long list of tons and tons of transits that are going to come and go, which is good, because sometimes it gets so busy that we don't have time to pay attention and listen to, download, and integrate certain aspects, because they came and went too quickly, too much going on simultaneously. Now the transits are slow. Some of these planets involved, they're retrograde. So that means that as it slows down, it gives you ample time to look at what needs to be dealt with, what needs to be healed, what needs to let go, what needs to really be looked at as far as the beginning of these new cycles, because there's new cycles here, Leo, and that is the most important issue. is the new growth. You're just like on the start line. And let me tell you though, when that green light or the whistle blows, you are on a run for a new long cycle coming up. And so right now, yes, it's nice when it's a little calmer. It gives you time to work with, gives you time to listen internally. Here on the 2nd, you might have some great news here coming from Uranus in the 9th house. Might have something to do with a foreign country. Uranus is for you up there in the 9th house. So either, I won't even say out of town. I would say either out of state or out of country. Jupiter loves, the faraway places. It's in the house of Jupiter. It's in the house of Sagittarius. But Uranus visiting there for the long-term phase it's calling you to change things up, to change up your rhythm, to change up maybe culture or people around you, maybe from different backgrounds, different cultures. Right now, Mercury here is signaling you with a message on the 2nd from someone far away, or you reaching out to someone far away to settle something. And it's a harmonious, it's a beautiful trine, so whatever it's going to pertain for you, only you will know. Then you have a little worry though, the 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Not worry. It's just the energy is like, it's coming to this mount, okay, it's a build up. Now we have Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn wants to expand, it wants to go. It's like, 10 wild horses on a leash, they want to run. Saturn's saying, hang on a second, we're not quite ready yet. So Saturn restricts. So that might be a little frustrating because you're ready to go, especially because we got Venus and Jupiter conjunct on the 4th, saying, well, I'm ready, right? But then Venus and Mercury, they're also squaring off on Saturn. So there might be something with paper documents you need to look into, have signatures signed, money looked into, because Venus is also money, and Saturn saying, do you have enough of this? Do you have enough of that? Do you need to put something away? Or maybe you're having to buy something, and then Saturn's saying, are you sure? So whatever the deal is, it's not a big thing for the most part, but it's just stopping you, slowing you a little bit, because already on the 7th, whatever you're looking for, that symbolic key that will solve these questions here on that first week, on the 7th you got it. You got the green light, Mercury has everything stamped and settled, you're good to go for the rest of the month. Now, this trine between Mercury and Saturn, it also has to do with people in high places, the Saturnian energy, which many times rules governmental people, service people, the people in power, so to speak. There's something you got to please them. But it's also the authority that you hold within yourself. So whatever papers are being processed on the 7th around there should be good. Anytime after the 7th to the 15th looks excellent, because by the 15th, the Sun and Venus are coming together, still in your 1st house. I see a big, broad smile on your face here, Leo. You're feeling groovy. Okay, that's a good old word. You're just feeling you're in that groove. So, and straight through the 15th to the 19th, we got Venus and Uranus also coming into that trine. I feel at that point, you're out dancing. I mean, you're just the happy-go-luckiest person. Wherever it is you're going to be at the time. So it is a great month. We do have that full moon, which is going to be August 29th, 6 degrees in Pisces, which will be your 8th house for intimacy. It's also that house which penetrates really deeply into our consciousness. Why? Because it is the house of Scorpio, which will always want to go deep, deep, deep down within ourselves. And it's in the sign of Pisces, so Pisces wants things to be transparent. It's spiritual. You might have a very strong, powerful initiation or spiritual enlightenment moment there on the 29th. For those of you seeking that kind of thing. For others, the full moon can also shed some light on resources or money shared with a partner, and look at how those things are working out for you. But Saturn now leaving the 4th house, property, real estate, family, those kind of things. Some of you might just feel now that the karma connected to this area is now shutting down as you are releasing and beginning a new 28-year cycle. Okay, so you've worked through the last 28 years of your life. For those of you who are older, you can go even further back. And I'd say you're right now shutting down on a 56-year cycle. Okay, that's the Saturn return in a sign and whatnot. And so what it does every 28, 29 years, it opens up totally, not just a new paragraph or a new chapter, it opens up a new book of life. So I'm excited for you, Leo. I know it is a great time for you. Hopefully you've been listening. If not, I will suggest listening to the tarot here for August, because we get different information than what the astrology gives, and yet it all kind of works so good together like this. It brings in people and situations differently from what we see in the chart. So do go listen to that. Listen to your partner's sign as well, just to see what's going on with him and her, and of course, always the moon and rising sign. So thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you next month. Bye now.